name is Dr. Ashoo Khosla. I'm from Shoolini University. I play the role of a chief learning officer there because we felt that you needed a person who's beyond the dean academics, who looks at all the regulations, and therefore it is very exciting for me to be sitting in this room and talking about how AI is going to change the classroom and how we need to change because AI is going to change the classroom. I was nodding a lot while Dr. Raj was mentioning a lot of things, and I've kind of tried to. I was very excited because I needed to speak a lot. First thing you mentioned was that experiential learning, the Mandi professor.
Yes.
We are located in this small town in Himachal.
I've seen your campus, ma'am.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So most of the students, of course, the demographics have changed a little bit in the past few years, come from these small towns in Himachal, where we had this issue that, they were not exposed to the best in the world. So with AI, with MOOCs, like you mentioned, I think that problem has gotten solved and we are very happy about it. So when we had to nurture these students right in the beginning, so I'm talking about 2009, 10, when we had just started, we realized that, they will not be able to understand the concepts given in Kotler. We have to show them in the practical way. So we used to experiment with things like that when we had started. But then we moved back to that usual way of teaching. And I love the term that you said, abundance of teaching. I think that is exactly what is wrong with, how we teach these days. We are adding on a lot of things, not realizing that there is a limit to which the student can absorb and a limit to which a teacher can deliver quality. So definitely we have to understand that when we say you have to study online, that is not casting any aspersions on the way teachers can teach. Teachers tend to take it as an insult. Oh, that means we are not teaching properly. But the point is that we have to understand also the generation which loves being on the phone and probably knows about things that you have your 10-year-old set of slides. Probably the world has changed from that point. But coming back to how do we teach in the AI era? So 2 points I want to make, one from the faculty point of view and one from the student point of view. From the student's point of view, I'll build on your point which says that we have to think of new ways of teaching. So I'll give you the example. I teach marketing, and I was, of course, in this semester trying to experiment how better to do it, how to keep the students engaged. So often in the class I would say, give them a problem and say, why don't you sit in groups and talk about it? And what I realized is they are producing these wonderfully sorted and beautiful looking presentations because everybody is using some AI tool. So even if they are presenting in class, everybody is presenting almost the same level. So I racked my brains again and I said, what can I do better? And towards the fag end of this semester, because we are now into the exams, we decided to take a trip down the highway. So, sir, if you visited our campus, from Chandigarh to our campus is the highway which has a lot of hoardings, advertisements. And I took both my first years and my second years, whom I was teaching brand management and the others who I was teaching marketing 101, and said, let's just look at these hoardings. So they were very excited to go in this bus. I said, take pictures, whichever you like best. One hoarding, you have to give me the segmenting, targeting, positioning, or one hoarding, you talk about how they have branded beautifully. And that was the exercise we did, and the kids were so excited. And eventually we realized that a lot of them were focused on one particular advertisement, which was done by a local jeweler. It was a series of ads which was called Pahadan, because they were emphasizing on the fact that they were local and they had a local bride dressed in the local traditional attire wearing the jewelry. And of course it's a great campaign and the students realized it. So now we are at this point where next semester, the marketing students of the first year, we are going to build a case study with this jeweler on how they came up with the idea, etc. So I found that very exciting, and this was like digital detox. People were happy, they were looking, they were discussing. So I think that is one thing, getting out of the classroom, Because in the classroom, you are constrained with the same PowerPoint, the same laptop. So I think that is one thing that we need to take into consideration. Talking about faculty, we had a faculty development program in the beginning of this semester. And we had Dr. Chandan Chaudhary. I don't know if some of you might be knowing him. He's from ISB, which is my alma mater, by the way. So he came in and he demonstrated how an AI can become a professor in class. So what he demonstrated was, he took us through a small 10-minute lecture about a topic, and we had teachers from different departments, but it was a humanities thing. It was something about, some kind of industry happening in Africa. So it was a small case study. And then the teachers were asked to sit down in groups, but each one had their own laptop, and they were sitting with their earphones, and they were chatting like we do in a Zoom call. So even on the group, you're not talking to each other like we are talking right now. You're talking like you're in a Zoom meeting, and everybody is discussing the topic. It is being recorded, so there is a platform, and every word that you speak is being recorded, and it is being assessed by an AI tool. So at the end of the session, so it was not a very long session, about 2-hour session total, the professor came into class and he had the results ready. He had assessed every participant on how they had answered the questions. So there were 3 questions given, and we were discussing them. What was the quality of the content? Did they interject and make a relevant point? How many times did they speak? How confidently they spoke? Everything was done in a span of 2 hours, and we had the entire assessment ready. So that is the advantage that AI might have, and we have to look at that advantage. How can that advantage work for us? Because otherwise, what is the challenge in a 100 strong classroom? How do you assess everybody fairly? And
assess on various parameters.
Yes.
It's impossible humanly.
So this could be one way, and it was so easy, because otherwise it breaks your back to check 100 assignments or to even sit and assess. You're not fair enough if you have to listen to 100 people speaking. At the end, you also get...
ma'am, this article which I read said it's not a crisis, it's not a cheating crisis, it's a crisis of identity we have as teachers.
Yes.
I came across institutions where, faculty feedback is a part of performance appraisal. The alliance between students and faculty, you give me 10 on 10 feedback, I'll give 10 on 10 grade.
Yeah.
It's a cheating going on.
Yes.
AI can perhaps help us overcome this.
So help us be more fair and more effective.
Absolutely.
Last point before I take up too much time, we do a skill enhancement program at Shoolini. And we did a recent one which was for our 5th semester students across the university, UG students. And we had, the theme was tech leadership. And we wanted them to be introduced to, of course, everybody is very attuned to AI tools, but we said, how can we use effectively? So we gave them an assignment. The whole 2 days was just this. We introduced them to some tools of AI which can produce a song from scratch. Write the lyrics, refine them, give a melody, give the arrangement, and you even can make a music video.
Yes.
So people actually just worked on that and made music videos. And we had introduced a little bit of gaming there and said, we'll give a reward for the one who does it best.
Fantastic.
And I was so happy to see that the first prize was given to a group which made good use of the tools, but they also questioned the whole theme. And they said, what are you making? So it was a rap, if all of you know what rap is, about how this is such an unfair way to assess, or create. They were saying, you're making machines create, and what about the thousands of artists who create? So that was the theme of the video, and it was a very powerful rap that they did, and they got the point. So I was happy as a teacher that, they were given a new concept, and they used the tools and questioned the tools in the same 2 days. So it was a very fulfilling experience for me. So
Great experience, I believe.
Yes. Thank you so much for the time. Thanks.